Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl of the Appian Way. If anybody knows how to set my name so that it actually displays as my name instead of just my my Epic Games ID, I'd be very appreciative. Anyway, I'm about to show you, as promised, Sparta and Menelaus. And this is actually my very first multiplayer match in Troy. I just created a lobby. I called it Jarl's YouTube or something like that. So if you decide you want to play some beta and you see a room set up that's called Jarl's YouTube, that's me. I'm the one who set that up, even though my name displays as like epic account number, blah, 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 blah. It's really ridiculous. Anyway, he brought Odysseus in Ithaca, and I brought, as I mentioned, Menelaus, because I want to review Sparta for you so that we all have something to learn from this. What in the roster for Sparta did I bring? I did not bring all of the special units. I only brought 2 units of Axe Champions to help me kind of control the flanks. I brought 3 units of regular old Spearmen with supported by a Cyclops and Menelaus. Menelaus has some has an infantry supporting ability called Shield Wall. Him and allies in range get plus 20% missile resistance, and I figured that'd be really good against Odysseus. Because Odysseus' roster is full of lightly armored skirmishers, I brought 4 renowned slingers and I gave them each 1 XP rank. I brought 1 chariot because I think the state of the game, you still need to bring a chariot, no matter what, if you can. And I brought 3 of these light spear runners. Oh my goodness, these guys, they're impressive. They're a treat. My opponent brought some Warriors of Ithaca. These guys are hidden. I cannot see them right here. All I can see at this stage is that he brought 4 Bowman. He has Odysseus on a chariot. I see that he has some spear runners kind of running into position, and I see that he's got some renowned island skirmishers as well. What he has hidden for me in the trees are a pair of exemplary ambushers. He put 2 XP chevrons on this one. That's actually a pretty solid pick. I think that's a good idea. He also brought 2 Warriors of Ithaca. They're also kind of forward deployed a little bit in hiding. And I'm kind of at this stage in this battle, I'm trying to decide how I want to engage. I go ahead and I'm going to pull my light spear runners out of these copse of trees. I did not realize that they have stalks, so my enemy cannot see them even though they're coming out of the trees here. And I'm going to bring my chariots around. So all my opponent sees is that I'm moving my chariots to the far left flank. And he goes, okay, I see your chariots, and I'm going to counter you with spear runners, Odysseus, and renowned island skirmishers. Not a bad plan, except that he didn't know that I was also bringing along my light spear runners. I go ahead and I set my army up over here. I am trying to keep my Axe Champions out of the mud, so when I start giving attack orders, you're going to see that I'm going to take a maneuver where I, instead of going straight up towards these archers, I just kind of curl them up behind my army to support my main attack. Because the Spearmen are going to have some trouble, actually, facing the Warriors of Ithaca. These are Roman legionaries, essentially. They've got 4 javelins, 4 pila, and then so do these spear runners. These guys, 2-handed light infantry spear charging unit, but they also have 2 javelins. So it's at this stage in the battle that he now realizes that I have at least 1 light spear runner, and I might have more. And I'm kind of wise to what's going on over here, and I'm still going, you know what? He's going to start throwing javelins into my soldiers. Let's see if I can't catch him off guard. The micro does fall in his favor at one point, but I decide the way I'm going to engage is I'm going to use my slingers. I'm going to start whittling down on his bowmen, and this is an exchange. I'm actually going to win, even as he starts throwing javelins down into my infantry line. These early javelin throws give him a pretty significant advantage. My Cyclops, I'm actually going to keep the Cyclops out of this fight for the most part and just use him to throw a boulder every 30 seconds. It works out in my favor really well. So as my attention for micro is over here, he's going to use his spear runners to charge my light spear runners, and he is wise in assuming that they might be better. He charges Odysseus straight through them, and I'm going, okay, you know what? I think what I'm going to do, seeing the javelins, I'm going to take my chariots, I'm going to move them all the way around back here, and I'm going to use them to support my main engagement. And they're just going to use my light spear runners to tie down Odysseus to these javelins and this unit of spear runners here. In the meantime, Menelaus has gotten into the thick of the fight. One of my spearmen is routing from these spear runners, and I couldn't get my Axe Champions there in time. And this has kind of left me a little bit with my pants down. If he had charged through and just gone after my renowned slingers, that'd be something else. You'll note my other spearman is routing. My entire line of spearmen are routing. I've broken 2 of his bowmen now with my slingers, and I'm focusing down this next one. Watch how quickly they're losing all that morale. My Cyclops is going to start... Literally, this Cyclops by himself is going to hold down all of this, as well as my 2 Axe Champions, holding down all of this with Menelaus support as well by silencing this unit of bowmen. And I think my opponent lost out an opportunity to try and kill my Slingers, because my Slingers are my best bet now for dealing with his exemplary ambushers. My Chariots, as you can see, are now moving over into a position. Those Bowmen are shattered. They're not going to come back. And as you can see, I just pulled the one light spear runner into both of these renowned island skirmishers. And I don't care what happens here. Even with Odysseus' support, I could lose all of my my light spear runners, and I'm okay. This is what is this? 2,400 point worth of investment here, and he's got all of this set up, and it's not supporting the mainline fight over here, where my Slingers are actually kind of doing a good job right now. Not getting as much damage onto the exemplary ambushers as I would like because of the trees, and those javelins have been able to chew through my Axe Champion's armor. These guys are going to, they're not just going to rout here, they're going to be killed to a man. And I kind of realized that I've got like these, 18 men left. My Chariots are going to do some cycle charges here. My Slingers are going to try and help clear out these Bowmen, because I actually lose sight of these exemplary ambushers. There goes the last of that Axe Champion, I should say. My Cyclops is going to, seeing that there's a whole lot of blobs over here, my Cyclops is going to take advantage of this and throw some boulders. Not as successful, that one, but he just keeps blobbing them up here, and I'm going to keep attacking with my Chariots. I'm going to keep throwing boulders. I'm going to charge at this point with my Cyclops. And Menelaus has broken that Bowman. Meanwhile, over here, Odysseus has activated his Aristea because my light spear runners have cleaned up this whole fight. He's also breaking another cardinal rule here, which is don't take your chariots into trees. His speed right now is a 61. That's really impressive for a chariot in the trees. Really impressive. So he's trying to get this spear runner back into it. My Slingers are starting to run out of ammo now, and as you can see, they're not dealing enough damage to the exemplary ambushers. And that has to do with the fact that they are a shielded javelin unit. 40% missile block chance. I activate Aristea on Menelaus. My Chariots stuck in that fight a bit too long, so they're going to take a lot more damage than I want them to. Great javelin throw from the exemplary ambushers. That's going to rout them and remove them completely. They're now shattered, and they will not be coming back. I tried to get as much out of them. I did get a cheeky little boulder throw into the exemplary ambushers. And here comes Odysseus. So since he's on his way, I just figured, you know what, I'll just waste the rest of my Slingers ammo. I don't really have good targets to throw them at. Everything in here is shielded in some way, shape, or form. So right now, it's just Menelaus, a Cyclops, and an infantry blob. Meanwhile, out here, I'm going to start realizing that my spear runners won this engagement, surprisingly enough to me, and I'm going to pull them back out this way. I got a Bowman that's regrouped over here I need to take care of. The Slingers and Menelaus are doing a number on Odysseus' chariot. Now, I brought Menelaus on foot because he has a divine challenge ability, and since I figured my opponent was going to bring Odysseus, if he brought Odysseus on foot, I'd be able to challenge him and hold him in place and then beat him up. But he was wise to put Odysseus in a chariot. Very wise to do so. It means that I cannot challenge him and then force him into the battle. My Cyclops routed. It fell back to here, but he's regrouped, and as you can see, there's a very tasty blob here for another boulder, and I wonder if it's going to come. Here comes Odysseus. He's going to try and take a piece out of my... there it is. Oh, that's the one I was looking for. He's going to try and grab a piece of some of my Slingers, but my Slingers, they're out of ammo at this stage. There's nothing left for them. So here's Odysseus, surrounded by a whole bunch of infantry to kind of slow him down, and my Cyclops gets a big wallop in here, and that breaks Odysseus' chariot. Now, that's blood in the water as far as I'm concerned. There is an Odysseus on foot, and I have the Menelaus. So I'm actually going to, this is a little ridiculous, I'm going to pull Menelaus straight through all of these warriors of Ithaca and try and get that taunt off onto Odysseus. That taunt, it has to be at like point-blank range. So here comes my my light spear runners. They have javelins to spare, so they're going to throw into this. Oh, there goes another boulder. Another huge chunk of kills. And Odysseus kind of sees this coming, and this is what he does. He starts running straight through my blob and goes the exact opposite direction of Menelaus, while my blob goes after his blob. Cyclops included. I'm like, let's just wrap up the infantry fight while I've got Odysseus on the run here. And Odysseus is going to keep running. I have to get Menelaus out of here. And this is where speed matters. Base speed on hero is 45, and they're both at the speed of 45. I think there's a fatigue penalty right now, That's brought both of their speed down to just 32. Mine's at 36. But Odysseus is actually the fastest hero in the game with some of his abilities. So he's just going to keep running for Menelaus. And cue Yakety Sax, because that's the end of this fight. I'm just going to run Odysseus right off this battlefield as my army wipes up the rest of the Ithaca warriors. So yeah, things I think he could have done better as an Odysseus player. I think he needed to bring at least... he needed to bring some more large support. I can't remember off the top of my head if Ithaca gets chariots. I'm pretty sure every faction does in some way, shape, or form. I think just having a unit of chariots is always a good idea. Having a hero on chariot isn't enough on its own, because that chariot can get shattered. Let's look at the stats. Now then, as you can see here, by kills, my spearmen completely worthless. I needed something else to pad out the line, and they tried, but they just got devastated by these spear runners' javelins, and they outperformed. And I think that's above their pay grade too. Well, maybe not. Maybe not actually. These guys might be a little bit more expensive now that I'm thinking about it. These guys are about a 550 point unit. My light spear runners did phenomenal in holding their morale, even with Odysseus out there in his chariot, pretty much given free rein to run them all over. They did pick up 1 XP on 2 of these, which is great news for me. And a bunch of, just a bunch of kills too, which is really nice. My Axe Champions died to a man, as they should, after accruing about 60 kills. I'm not sure that they caught value, considering there wasn't very much in his army that had a lot of value that they could have grabbed. I mean, maybe the Exemplary Ambushers or the Warriors of Ithaca, but they held down the line just long enough for my Slingers to get their job done. 60, 52, 78, and 58, with 2 of them picking up XP chevrons. By Chariots, 55 kills, 1 XP chevron, really helped me to whittle down their Warriors of Ithaca. 62 and 114 kills, though, so you see how well that went. And my Cyclops picked up 101 kills, Menelaus with 42, Chariot with 55. So, a good showing, I'd say. Right. Let's take a look at Menelaus's roster. And I'm going to compare it against Ithaca, because, that's what makes sense right now. So first of all, let's answer some questions about Ithaca. Yes, Ithaca has a pair of chariots, including a very zippy skirmish chariot at a speed of 95. This one's at the speed of 80. Guerrilla Stalkers, Renowned Island Skirmishers, Exemplary Ambushers, Heavy Island Skirmishers, Ambushers. There's so many good units in here. He's limited to only 2 Exemplary Ambushers, so I might actually just instead say, they do a lot of damage, but frankly, those Heavy Island Skirmishers, you get more freer value, I feel like, out of these. And they're a little bit more protected, too. They're only a 35% missile block chance. That 40% is really, really good. What's this one? 45%. Maybe the Renowned Island Skirmishers. I don't like that you're limited to only 2. They are experts in hiding. They are armor piercing, but all of these javelins are armor piercing. You have a whole list of choices. And what is the value on the spear runners? 740. Okay. So those 4 740 spear runners obviously went to town on my 3 units of spearmen. I needed these guys to hold the line a little bit longer than they did. I probably would have been better off picking axemen or shielded spearmen, but I just didn't have the funds for it. I only had about 1,500 funds left, so I couldn't even afford 3 Laconian Axemen, which would have been my first choice. Now then, let's take a look at Menelaus. So he's got some abilities that were pretty fancy to use in that fight. Remember, though, that he has a melee chariot, a skirmish chariot, and a reinforced melee chariot. The skirmish chariot might be interesting on him. It comes with horseback sharpshooting. And does it have... He does not have sharpshooter, so it wouldn't ignore the shield block chance of enemy units. He has the Dread of Ares. This targets a single enemy unit and applies a pretty significant debuff for 25 seconds. It's minus 15 morale, minus 25% melee attack, minus 15% stamina. That's a solid one. The Threads of Fate, which grants himself 50 melee attack, 50% weapon damage. That, if you're doing the math at home, that brings him up to, let's see here, 1650 on his damage across 10 seconds. But it comes with a 20% armor debuff. And his armor goes up if you put him in the reinforced melee chariot. And he does, so that would leave him with 60 armor and 75% missile block chance versus 45. However, you could also flip that on its head and toggle the shield wall ability, and it's a toggle, so you could just keep this on if you think your opponent's going to be raining javelins on you. And in that fight, I had it on for the first, I would say, 3/4 of the fight, but the last quarter, when I realized he was out of javelins, I turned that off, and because he and everybody else around him didn't need that missile resistance. There's no reason not to just leave it on, except for the fact that it costs 2 rage per second. So this also meant that my Aristea triggered later in the fight, which went in my favor, because he was able to use it after most of the troops were already lost their numbers, and he was able to hold that mainline battle for a while. Now this is the big thing for him and for a couple of the other heroes in this game, the Divine Challenge ability. His comes with a -20 armor debuff on top of it, and it forces the target and him into a fight. And the important thing to know about this Divine Challenge ability is that even though it's still on the character card, if you take a chariot, you can't use it if you're mounted. It says right there, can use if unit is dismounted. Target if unit is dismounted and unit is a hero. You can only use this against the hero. You can't use it against the mythical single entity. You can only use it against the enemy hero, and only if they're on foot, and only if you're on foot. So don't go into a battle and at the very first stage think, I'm going to take a chariot and I'm going to challenge him. No. Are you on foot? Are they on foot? And you saw I was waiting for my opportunity to use it on Odysseus as soon as I got his chariot to break under the withering melee attack from the Cyclops. I'm going to do some research. I want to see if I can't figure out what the statistics are for getting a hero out of their chariot. It might be like, was it like one really powerful melee attack? Is it a certain amount of the hero's hit points? I'm not sure. So I'd be interested to look that up. Back into the roster. The special units for Sparta are, of course, the 3 light spear runners that you could take, the 2 heroic axe warriors, and the 2 axe champions. I did show off the axe champions in a battle yesterday that I put on my channel, which thank you so much, everybody. You gave me something like 600 views in the first 2 days, and I'm humbled, honored. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting my channel like that. The Axe Champions here, 2 of them, 1,300 points. You saw how they did in the fight. I don't think they're unbreakable, but they sure seemed like it. No, I guess they did break after a while. They have a very decent morale pool at 75. They have good armor at 95, but no shields. If you see these guys coming at you, don't take the fact that they don't have shields to mean that they're going to be chumps to your ranged fire. They're going to shrug off slinger rounds because of that 95 armor. Their damage is pretty significant with armor piercing 32 points. They also have javelins that they throw, 2 of which, and they deal 20 armor piercing damage. These guys are great to have on your flanks to just kind of charge in, or to have as a second wave to come in and hit the enemy. The heroic axe warriors they are what they sound like. The problem is in their numbers. There's only 23 of them, similar to the axe champions. Actually, same with the light spear runners. Whereas if you take a unit of, that's 30. Gosh, really low numbers all around, actually, now that I'm looking at it. What else is in their roster, though? Let's see here. So they also have Laconian units, which are unique to Sparta's roster. They have Laconian Militia, which is just garbage. Don't take it ever. I honestly think you're better off spending the extra 100 to take Spearmen, even though they performed very poorly. They have poor melee attack, but they have bonus versus large swordsmen and axemen, and a missile block chance of 40% at 450 cost. A 40% missile block chance isn't bad. Laconian Axemen. If you really wanted to go the route of saving money on your axe champions, you could theoretically bring instead of 2 of these, you can bring 5 Laconian Axemen. There's nothing saying you can't. And they're dealing that armor-piercing damage. You just have to keep in mind that these guys are going to be a lot more fragile and a lot more prone to breaking. There's also Laconian Hillmen, 2-handed club infantry. I don't really think they're worth bringing when you could always just bring Laconian Axemen instead. The Laconian Hillmen have less armor. They have less morale. They're faster. They have better melee attack. They have better melee defense. They have less damage. But they have more charge bonus. I honestly just think the Laconian Axemen are better than the Hillmen. There's also the regular old Axemen with a shield block chance 45%. Also more armor-piercing damage. You might be seeing a recurring theme here, and that's that almost all of their units have some kind of bonus, whether it's... Most of them have armor-piercing. Those that don't have spears, all right? Or they have spears that are also good against axemen and swordsmen. The first unit that really comes across, other than, obviously the Laconian Militia, without a significant bonus is going to be the Laconian Hillmen, which, again, I think is kind of meh. The Laconian Swordsmen, all right? So this is a shielded 55% block chance, 60 armor, 60 morale, 37 speed, for medium infantry. That's nothing to bat an eyelash at. And 125 weapon damage. They're okay. I like the renowned Laconian Axemen. These guys are a step up from the cheaper version at 510. So for 270 more points, we've got, what's the difference here? Better stats and everything. For only 450 more hit points though, which means per model about 15? What's 430 divided by... Say 450 divided by 30 is... Oh gosh, calculator time. I'm just curious how much hit points that is per model. We're looking at... 15. I was right the first time. So we're looking at about 15 extra hit points per model. That's not a lot, and unfortunately. So these guys are also a bit of a glass cannon with only, with only 315 hit points per unit, basically. The light spear runners, I'm going to take these guys all the time when I'm playing Sparta now. Their performance in that battle was fantastic. They also have the option to switch to a spear and shield versus just spear. In that battle, they had their shields out for 45% missile block chance. That was really good against those javelins. And the javelins were kind of wasted on them because they're already a low armor unit. The armored spearmen were another step up from shielded spearmen. These guys, again, really low hit points. Hold on, are these unit settings... What? When did it get to small? I didn't do that. We should be on large. I am so sorry. No wonder the hit points look so low. Yeah, now we're talking 68 per unit. Now, okay. Okay. Gosh, I hope you're still with me after that earlier snafu. Now, yes, 68 per unit, 6256 health pool, 8840 health pool. What is the largest health pool for melee infantry unit? Oh, shielded spearmen, 9090. That I didn't see coming. They actually have more hit points than the armored spearmen, but the armored spearmen are also heavy armor with 75% missile block chance. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Armored chargers. These guys are. There's a theme here, and it comes in the two-handed weapons. They're just all over the roster. Even these light spear runners count as two-handed weapons. Let me take out everything that doesn't count here. Hold on. Laconian Axemen, Hillmen, regular Axemen. Nope. Yes. You guys count because you can swap. I mean, just look at how many options we have here for using two-handed weapons. And in the most recent update that came out with this beta, two-handed weapons across the board got a buff. Shielded units got a nerf. All right, that's important to remember. For missile units, Achilles Slingers, they're kind of meh. Renowned Slingers, They're great if you know your opponent is not going to have a lot of armor. And facing Ithaca, I went, you know what? Let's kill some skirmishers. Unfortunately, those exemplary ambushers, especially in the trees, survived, but not before I killed off 4 of his bowmen. How much did those bowmen cost him? 480 per unit? Yeah, 480. Okay, so with his 480 per unit, yeah, I spent more on my renowned slingers, but his bowmen weren't able to do much against my army, unless they were instrumental in taking out my my spearmen. Renowned bowmen are great. Warriors of Artemis, you're capped to 2 of these per army. Experts in hiding, they have stalk and sniping, so they're similar to the Ithaca units in that they can stay hidden while they're shooting. They have Vanguard deployment. These are great abilities. Their range is 160. Their downside is in their cost for only having 30 armor, 55 morale, 44 speed is okay, and that's actually kind of typical for archer units in this game. But the difference here is that these renowned slingers, they come with a shield. It's only 35% missile block chance, but these guys are better at killing archers than archers are. They also actually have more range with 180, so that was pretty significant too. The range on the bowman was 140, so I was able to outrange him and start raining him down from beyond. Chariots, there's regular chariots and reinforced chariots. I just brought 1 unit of regular chariots and managed to get some good performance out of it. Spartoi are in the roster, which makes perfect sense. It is Sparta. You can always use a pair of these guys to add to your to add to your two-handed charging capacity. These guys got that buff as well. 183 damage with the bonus versus large is really, really nice. They also have 32 armor piercing damage, so don't think that they somehow are not armor piercing. 45 armor and 65 morale. How do they compare against the Axe Champions? Axe Champions are actually kind of a better unit, so I would spend the extra 100 just to take the Axe Champions and get the value out of their javelins. The other mythical unit, as I demonstrated in the battle, was the Cyclops. And this beefy boy, even though with its nerf, is still dealing that damage. Dealing 340 armor-piercing damage. It only has 10 armor. His bowman should have been firing at this guy, for sure. But this guy also causes terror. He throws boulders every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds. That's how I was able to rack up those kills against Ithaca. Anyway, all that being said and done, I'm going to try and get you one more battle right now in multiplayer. And I'm going to post it right here. And Jarl's YouTube channel, 1v1. If you ever see that, just come get me. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and set it up. And I'll see you once I get an opponent in a battle. Also, again, if anybody knows how I can change my name, please tell me. I've tried doing this from the Epic Game Store website, where it's like, change your display name. My display name should be Jarl Appian Way. I have no idea why it's not actually changing in Troy. So if anybody knows the answer to that, please let me know. I'm getting really confused. Also, something else to talk about. Apparently, chat isn't available. So, feature not ready yet. Coming soon. La-di-di-da. Okay, here we are. So, I'm actually kind of cheering for my opponent, Dax18 here. He's got a nice little Star Wars name. I don't think he's intended for it to be Star Wars name. He's had it spelled differently. But I brought a very rush army, and it has a big glaring weakness, which is what I want to also show off about the Spartan army. I brought no shields, with the exception, of course, being the light spear runners. They do have their shields, but we're playing at the Anatolian coast, and I have a rush army. The only things I brought that aren't meant to go right on in attack is the light bowman. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set up these guys up front, hopefully to eat up some Ithaca javelins, because we are playing against, you guessed it, Odysseus one more time here, which is going to be good news for Menelaus, I think, unless we have Odysseus on a chariot again. We always could. And I'm going to deploy my chariots off on the far right flank. I already got my Cyclops up with the main line. Oh, I got to get my Axe Champions in position. We're going to do one over here. We'll do another one over here. Just kind of doing like a staggered checkerboard pattern here with my army setup. Put the arrows over here. Honestly, that's all one group. These guys are a group. That chariot will be a group. Well, isn't this interesting? It looks like my opponent, if this is true, it looks like my opponent brought a Ravager champion instead of Odysseus. We'll see if that's true when the battle starts. So if we're getting any other information here, my enemy brought more troops than I did by exactly 97. Alright, with no way to communicate with my opponent, it feels a little iffy to press the start battle button. I also know he has more troops than I do, so I'll give it another couple seconds before I click that start battle button, just to give him every opportunity to deploy. I wonder how much of the forward deployment zone he'll use. If I were him, I'd be deploying, if I was doing forward deploy, I'd be deploying up here, and maybe even in here. Those would both be good spots for it, or out here. Not that I want to charge my chariots into the trees or anything, but, you know, it's possible. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit that start battle button. Oh, wow, it gives you a solid 3 minutes. Okay, he was waiting for me. That was kind of him. We've got a pair of skirmish chariots out here on the far left. I'm going to move my forces up over here. Interesting, he did not bring Odysseus. This guy is on foot, a fighter vanquisher, yep. We've got light spearmen along the back. We have island club warriors, 2 heavy island skirmishers, and 2 chariots off on the far flank. It is very likely that my opponent has brought more units that I cannot see. And it looks like he's going to wait for me to come to him, so he definitely has stuff in these trees that he wants me to face. It looks like his... Yeah, there's no way he doesn't have stuff sitting over here. And I've lost sight of one of his skirmish chariots. Okay, well, once I get my archers into position to start shooting some heavy island skirmishers, we'll start with this. Let's go ahead and turn those off, and just want to try and take advantage of my range here. Let's go ahead and pull this chariot out this side. And what's the range on this boulder toss? He's got to get it up to, yeah, just outside of the javelin range, which is fine. Let's go ahead and start shooting up these island skirmishers. Since he's going to let me shoot him, he does have his shield on these heavy island skirmishers, but I brought bows this time. These guys have a little bit better armor piercing. Nice hit. Killed 9 units in that. And nobody's made their presence known out of these forest and scrubs yet. Let's see if I can't bait some javelins out of whatever's hiding. Alright, he's going to start moving forward, which is good for me, because I want him to. Yep. This is all going according to plan. Yep, we have renowned island skirmishers hiding over here. Yeah, here come their javelins. Which is actually pretty smart. He should be shooting me up. Let's see if I can't take on these skirmish chariots, though. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Those javelins. Oh, the range. Okay. That's enough of that. He's hidden one of his chariots by the looks of things. Let's go ahead and move this up. I'm just going to go ahead and give chase to this skirmish chariot because I kind of want to see how that plays out. Yeah, we're about to start getting javelins chucked at us, so I'm going to need to start charging on ahead.
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
Here we go. Okay, so I put his skirmish chariots into those trees, and I'm now in position to rear charge, even though I've lost half my health on these units. Let's get Menelaus up here.
Your warriors have spotted hidden foes.
Let's get that divine challenge. Alright, let's pull my chariots through. Let's keep chasing with these. I could have sworn there was a second chariot, but I'm not seeing it on the battlefield quite yet.
Your warriors are losing heart.
Interesting, he put the skirmish chariot into this Cyclops. Don't know if that's a bad idea or not. I'm going to throw a boulder over here, try and break this up. Where's that boulder? There it is. Could have been better. Actually, archers. Alright, the real fight is now in these trees. I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy into this Menelaus fight. Menelaus is doing just fine. Dread of Ares on this guy who is now fleeing. Yeah, we're doing just fine. My orders are definitely paying off. Let's go ahead and chase off these heavy island skirmishers.
Your warriors have been routed.
Yeah, their chariots beat mine. That skirmish ability definitely in their favor. Oh, I think I found their other chariot. Unless it's the same unit. It could be. It's always possible. Shoot these gorilla stalkers! Heck! They got all the way around my flank and behind me. Speaking of behind me, there's the other chariot. Alright, my archers are in a bit of trouble now. Odysseus' Midnight Runners also have won things out here. Let's keep chasing that. I'm going to keep Menelaus out here. Let's break these guys up.
Hades has claimed the enemy hero.
Good news, good news. Oh, he saw my Menelaus attack. It's good for him. Let's go ahead and shoot these guys up a bit. I'm going to chase that. Let's get you guys into this. Let's keep you guys into there. These guys are berserk or something? Mostly, I'm just unceremoniously escorting off a lot of his troops. Let's go ahead and pull this back. Let's pull that back. That's shattered anyway. Those light spearmen don't concern me. These guys will do fine here. There's his gorilla stalkers again. Alright. Menelaus is chasing...
Your units has no
might actually be successful catching that. Let's put that into there. Let's put these guys in the trees. We're out of ammo on this unit. Let's chase these heavy... Actually, let's chase these light spearmen. These guys are just broken and getting shot. Okay, Laconian Axemen. Those guys are broken. I should get these guys into heavy island skirmishers. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's get one of you into there, and let's get one of you into there. There's renowned island skirmishers. Let's try to get them out of their ammo. Let's shoot up these skirmisher chariots. Menelaus, how you doing? Oh, he's having the time of his life. So I just activated Threads of Fate for minus 20 armor on himself, but he's going to be dealing much more damage, much more melee attack against these skirmisher chariots. He should be doing just fine here. And I'll turn on that that shield wall of his, since they are shooting at him while they're doing all of this. Let's go ahead, get in here, get these gorilla stalkers before I lose sight of them again. Let's just see if we can't break this heavy shielded spearman with a boulder. And I'm gonna, since that unit is shattered, yeah, here we go. Here we go. My archers are still chasing these skirmisher chariots. And Menelaus has broken this chariot, but it's still there. I'm gonna turn that off. Yeah, they're gonna be able to escape now. Oh, nope, they might actually come back. I'm gonna keep Menelaus chasing them. Oh my god, guys, they were right there. Don't just stop.
Victory is close enough to taste.
He's definitely making it hard for me to stay engaged with his forces. Those are my arrows. Let's shoot the heavy shielded spearmen then. There we go. The light spear runners have the speed to take on the guerrilla stalkers. Menelaus is getting shot at. Let's see if I can't catch these. Yeah, these skirmish chariots, they're on skirmish mode, so he's not controlling where they run to. They just ran into the trees, which is going to stop them for good. Over here. Yep, their morale just broke. Come on. There we go. That was a good game. That was a good game, I'd say. For only my second victory ever, and it was against none other than Ithaca again. 101 kills, wow, on a light spear runner. Did not pick up XP though. This Laconian Axemen did really well for itself. The 2 axe champions picked up XP. The light spear runners picked up an XP. Oh, this one did. Yeah, 81 kills, 83 kills on the Cyclops. It got XP. Chariots definitely underperformed. I did keep his chariots out of the fight for the most part. One of them only got 7 kills. But you know, that was value they made. The Odysseus' Midnight Runners, I don't even remember them dying. I just remember seeing them and going, archers, kill it. And if the archers are what killed it, I'd be very surprised. Yeah, he brought heavy shielded spearmen, light spearmen. Who else? I mean, those Midnight Runners did a lot of the work for him. Those chariots did an okay job of it as well. The Renowned Island Skirmishers, those javelin units were doing a great job, as did the guerrilla stalkers. I think that Vanquisher was a really good pick for Menelaus to fight. He was able to handle him pretty quickly, especially with the aid of one of my Axe champions. As you can see here, 121 kills, 52 kills, and they barely took any damage. Really good performance, I'd say. Archers, meh. 4 kills, 5 kills. I really don't like archers. I brought them because I couldn't find any other decent rush units to take at under 1,000 points. And I was like, I'll just bring 2 bowmen, why not? Probably could have brought another chariot. Anyway, that's it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I certainly did. That was a fun game for me. I might stick around and you might see me in the future in the next couple of days try to put together a couple of multiplayer lobbies. Dax 18 is back. I'm just going to go ahead and close out the room. Folks, again, thank you so much. Ta-ta. I love you. See you in the next video.